Hey you guys, Noah Rael here, and today I'm going over a complete guide on how to change oil for beginners. So this video is going to be more geared toward, again, people who've never really changed their oil before. So I'm going to go into great detail over the procedure you're going to want to follow, tools and products you're going to want to use, and everything you're going to need to know to make your oil change go as smooth and as safe as possible. Now, doing your own oil change is extremely important because these local oil companies are going to charge you a lot of money to put a cheap filter and cheap oil inside your vehicle. So by doing it yourself, you're going to be saving some time, saving some money, learning a lot about your car, and you'll be able to put high quality products in there that are ultimately going to make this guy last longer. So without further ado, let's get to know when you're going to need to change oil, and even if you need to change oil, and how to tell whether you need to. Alright, well, some of you guys might be asking, you don't know when to change your oil. So people who have changed oil in the past before, the mechanics will put a sticker in your upper left hand part of your windshield. It's going to be right here. You can see it's from Power Ford, the dealership, and they want me to bring back this car when I hit 9,600 miles. That means my oil is probably bad by then, and that's what they want me to change it. So in your case, that's when you would go ahead and change your own oil. If not, there's one other way we could do it. Alright guys, if your vehicle does not have one of those stickers on the windshield, there's just one easy way to check it manually. You're just going to pop your hood really quick. And this is what your engine bay is going to look like. You're going to look for a long little rod like this guy. You're going to be able to pull it out, it's going to be in and out like this. Most likely it's going to say engine oil on it or something along the lines of the oil. So what you're going to do first, you're just going to take it out, grab a rag, clean it all the way through. Then it's going to go in a little hole right back here. Just go ahead and slide that guy back in. And you're going to leave it there for a few seconds so that the oil grab onto the rod. And then once that's done, just go ahead and do it again. Go ahead and pull it out. And then right here, some little indicators. You can see it says add safe. And so you want your oil level to be in between those two lines right there. Now I just changed oil in this car, so the oil is really clear, which is how it should be looking. If you need yours changed, it's either going to be low, too high, or it's going to be dark. Just go ahead and pop that guy back in, and that's going to be your indicators on when and if you need to change your oil. Alright you guys, here I have a list of everything you're going to need to change your oil. So these are the necessary parts and tools you're going to need. We're going to need the oil catch pan to catch everything we're going to drain out. We need the engine oil filter, a socket set or a wrench, usually around an inch or a half an inch. And we need a funnel to put the oil back in. And we're going to depth there in the video about which engine oil and which oil filter you're going to need. And we're going to do all of that through the AutoZone website. And here are some useful items you could use, but you don't necessarily need, are gloves to keep the oil off of your skin and everything, because it's not too good for it. And then plywood and towels is a pretty nice thing to have, because you slide that under the truck or car or whatever, and then if you're draining out and you happen to miss the drain pan, then that catches all the oil. It doesn't go on the ground, which is, really bad, or it could go on the concrete and leave that concrete with that stain. And most of you guys are going to need jacks and jack stands. Now me, I'm working under a lifted truck, so I'm going to be able to move freely under there, but a lot of you guys need to jack it up and lower it on jack stands, or you can even drive it up on the curb and work under it that way. Whatever makes it easier for you to get under the car. Alright guys, so this is pretty much all the materials you're going to need right here. First, right here we got just a little socket set. You can just get this from any convenience store or Walmart. You're going to need an oil funnel to funnel oil back into your engine. Also, you have a towel just to clean some stuff up if need be. And this guy's the oil pan I was talking about. This is where we're going to drain the oil into. Once we unscrew the little bolt, all the oil is going to flow in here, and that's how we were going to recycle it. You can just return it back to AutoZone if you'd like. And then also under the truck, we have a sheet of plywood just in case any spills miss the oil pan. It'll go on the plywood instead of the concrete. Okay, now that we have our basic tools and parts down, let's go ahead and learn what oil you're going to need and what filter you're going to need and how to look it up. Alright guys, if you're like me and you'd like to know what products you're going to need before you get to the store, this is something you could do and it's super easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to AutoZone.com. Just because it's the closest auto parts store to me. You could also do this for Napa Auto Parts or Walmart, something like that. But once you get there, you're going to find two tabs. It's going to be My Vehicles and My Store. So you're going to go to My Store first and you're entering your zip code. And that's going to tell the website what store is closest to you. So then when you start searching for your oil and your filter, it's going to let you know if they have those things in stock. And if they don't, it's going to let you know what store does. Then next, what you're going to do is you're going to go to My Vehicles and you're going to add a vehicle. Then it's going to ask you 4 questions. It's going to ask for the year, make, model, and engine size of your vehicle. So the engine size, a lot of you may not know, and that's alright. because the engine size can be easily found in your owner's manual or even online. And that's important because that's going to let AutoZone know how much oil they need to supply you in order to fill your engine. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and search. So under the AutoZone logo, into the search bar, going to type engine oil. Alright, then just go ahead and scroll down to engine oil in the top left corner, and then it's going to be the first one that pops up. So in my case, AutoZone's recommending me the STP high mileage 10W30 5-quart engine oil. Now that 10W30 is referring to the type of oil you need. So based off your year, make, model, and engine size, that number is going to be different. So in my case, I need to be looking for STP 10W30, and since I entered in my engine size, it's telling me I need 5 quarts of this engine oil. So now I walk into the store, I'm going to be looking for a bright red bottle, STP 10W30 5-quart engine oil, and if I scroll down, since I entered in my store, it's telling me it's ready to go, so once I get there, I can pick it up and get out of there. Now the next thing we're going to need to do is go ahead and go to the search bar again, and last thing we're going to need is an oil filter. So just type that in the search bar, hit enter, and then of course it's going to be in the top left corner as usual. Just go ahead and hit that guy again. And in this case, two options pop up, an XL and a regular. So in this case, I'm just going to use a standard oil filter. I don't want anything fancy, just as long as it's better than the oil filters that the mechanics use in our local shops. So in this case, it's telling me I need to get the STP oil filter S16. Now that S16 is just referring to the type of oil filter, it's just like the 10W30 on my engine oil. So we're going to need to pick that guy up. And if I scroll down, it's going to tell me that it's ready to pick up in the store, it's ready to go. So now all I need to do, guys, that I have everything I need picked out, and just head to AutoZone, get my stuff. I'll meet you guys back here. Okay, you guys, as we see here, everything we looked up we have right here. We have the STP high mileage 10W30 5 quarts. That's what a 5-quart bottle looks like. And also right here we found the STP S16, the type of filter we needed. So we are all ready to go to start doing this oil change. Front end's going that way, tail gets to my back. So now we can see right here is going to be the oil pan, right pretty much in between both tires. If we look a little closer, there's going to be a little bolt right there. Now if we unscrew that bolt, that's where all the oil is going to come out from. So we need to make sure we're going to place our oil pan right here. When we unscrew that, all the oil is going to drain into there. Now just to the right of your oil pan, which is going to be right here, you're going to see our oil filter. It's going to be up here, this blue guy. And normally it's going to be under the car, but in some vehicles it's going to be under the hood. So when we take that out, we're going to make sure we place the oil pan right underneath it and drain out from there. Alright guys, before we start draining from the oil pan, what we're going to do first is stick our oil pan underneath the filter, start unscrewing it, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, let the excess oil drain in there, and we'll get back to you as soon as I get it loosened up. And make sure not to turn this oil filter over because there is still oil inside the filter. So once you get that off, just go ahead and dump it in there. You can see it running out now. And once that's good, just go ahead and set it aside. Alright, now I got my new blue filter out of the box. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it up here, find the threads, and start screwing it on. Alright guys, now that we put our blue filter on there, we're going to turn our focus to the oil pan, which is going to be located right here. This is going to be the drain plug that you're going to unscrew. So what we're going to do is we're going to go get a wrench, put it on there, loosen it up, put our drain pan underneath here, and start draining the oil from here into the drain pan. Alright you guys, now that I got it loosened up with my socket, I'm going to go ahead and put that guy down. All I'm going to do here is just unscrewing this bolt. Now there's going to be a little net on the top of your oil pan, so once it starts going, just go ahead and let it go, and all the oil will run to the bottom, but your bolt will stay on top. Just keep unscrewing it, you'll see probably some oil come out. There we go. As you can see, here's the bolt. It went ahead and stayed on top, and the oil now is going to be draining all in there. So we're going to let that go for a few minutes. I'll meet up with you guys when I'm done. Once you're done draining, guys, just go ahead and wipe yourself off. All the dirty stuff is done now. That way all we need to do is just go ahead and screw our bolt back in there and fill it up and let it run. Alright guys, you can see now, I'm going to turn the light. It is down to a slow drip, so I'm just going to go ahead and get that bolt that fell into the catch pan right here. We're just going to go ahead and screw that in a little bit. Once it's in there, you want to make sure this guy's nice and tight, so make sure you go real at it hard with your ratchet. Alright, you guys got that guy on there nice and tight, so now what I'm going to do, just get my rag and clean everything up a little bit. You don't want any oil marks on here at all. Clean up as much as you can, because if you look down here later and you see a drip, you know that needs to go tighter. So make sure you clean up all the excess oil. Screw the lid back on the oil pan, clean up down here a little bit, and then go up to the top. Now, make sure you take this off. No dirt, particles, or anything gets on here. You want that to be strictly just oil. And if you get something else in there, it could be a little bit of trouble for you later. So we're going to stick our funnel in there. And we're going to go grab our oil. Our 10W30 oil. Alright guys, and before we even start filling up our oil, you're going to want to make sure your funnel is clean. So just go in there with your rag really quick. Make sure there's no dirt particles, anything in there. Get all the dust out of there as much as you can. Then you go ahead and come over here to where we took the cap off. Right here, place that in there. You're going to grab your oil over here. My 10W30, your version of the oil, and we're going to start pouring it in. Alright, and once you're done filling it, just go ahead and come in here with your rag. Take your filter out, make sure no oil gets anywhere. What I like to do is just put this on a higher surface, that way all the oil will go out of the bottom. Just like that. Then you get your oil cap, make sure nothing is on the edges, no debris or anything, and go ahead and match the two lines up with the two indents in here. Put that on, screw it on tight. Alright, now that's full. Now we're going to do, guys, we're going to wait a little bit, get ourselves cleaned up a lot. And then we're going to go back under there, make sure nothing's leaking from the filter or the oil pan, make sure everything's on there nice and tight. So now that everything's good to go, you're all ready to start. Go ahead and start your vehicle, run it, and we're going to check the dipstick also, just to make sure our level in there is also good. Alright guys, that's going to be really important to make sure you start your vehicle before you check the dipstick for the level. Because right now your filter is not filled with any oil, so it's going to seem like you have a lot more oil in your engine that you need to. Just go ahead and start up your car, and I would let it run for about 60 seconds and then let it rest for 10 minutes and then go and check your dipstick. Alright guys, I'm now back. I let my car sit for around 10-ish minutes. Just check the dipstick, level's good, everything's good, double check for leaks. We're all good to go, your car is ready to go back on the road. Alright, you guys are going to do a little overview here to make sure that everything we learned today sticks in our minds, that way we can do successful oil changes in the future. So first we're going to go over the necessary tools and parts like our engine oil and our filter. We learned how to look those up with the AutoZone website and how each one's different for each car. We learned about the socket set and the wrench and how to use both of them, where to use both of them. And we learned about the oil catch pan, the importance of collecting our waste oil, and also having a clean funnel when we refill it. Now we learned how to check our oil status, which means using the dipstick method, making sure your oil is in between the two lines and making sure it's the correct color. We also use a sticker from the dealer, which is that sticker in the top left corner of your windshield. That's going to tell you what date to come in or how many miles to go in to have your oil changed or to change it yourself. Now we learned about draining the oil pan. That includes locating the oil pan, prep for falling oil, locate and replace the filter, drain from pan bowl, and properly dispose of the oil, which means taking it to AutoZone and having them dispose of it properly, not just throwing it away or leaving it to run on the ground. And then next, we learn how to refill and check. That means to properly refill with new oil with that clean filter we were talking about, and we also learn how to test the level of the oil. And that's meaning to letting your car run and then cool down and then test to make sure we put the right amount of oil in there. Now that you guys know all these things, you guys should be able to change your oil on your own. I wish you luck and I hope this helped out a lot.